What is going on? Happy Labor Day. Week 1 of college football is officially in the books, and what a start to college football.
What a start. What a phenomenal weekend. Big matchups, big wins, We're all want to know here.
We're all right,
that's what matters. So
we all want to know. So shout out to all the Florida schools.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the Florida schools.
Except FAU.
FAU was, I think, the only school in Florida that Bethune-Cookman technically is a Florida school too.
Yeah.
UCF
FBS. It was all FBS. Florida
USF, UCF, FIU, UM, FSU, and did I miss anybody?
Florida.
And Florida. And the Gators. Shout out the Gators. Huh?
Everyone got him. Everyone got him in.
We said it. By week 3, all the Florida schools were going to be ranked because FIU is going to beat Penn State this weekend.
Oh, yeah. It's Penn State week. All eyes. I literally was taking notes during their game against Nevada. They look so beatable. It's embarrassing. That team, we are going to smoke them. We are going to run up into their crib and take their shit, all right? That's that. But back to week 1.
Next episode on Thursday will be a week 2 kind of preview for college football. Are we doing? No, we're actually. Are we doing a preview?
No, we're doing just fins.
Just fins on Thursday with Josh Moser. That'll be dropping on Thursday. So make sure to tune into that on Thursday. But let's talk week 1 of college football. Obviously, big slate. We had the Texas-Ohio State game, Clemson-LSU, Florida State-Bama, UM Notre Dame, FIU Bethune-Cookman. Of course. A big college football slate. But let's start off the top with Ohio State and Texas and your boy Archie Manning.
Yeah, I've officially turned on Archie Manning. The thing is, everyone has turned on him, so now it's not as cool to turn on him.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking about reeling back my turning on him and flipping it to now be coming back to being a big Archie Manning guy. No, the thing with Arch is that a couple things. It was a huge letdown. He, in my opinion, played terrible. I honestly, he made one good throw. I swear to God, he actually played terrible in my opinion. I don't think that actually means I'm trolling when I say he sucks. I don't think it's going to have a huge effect. I'm curious to see how he bounces back from this. But it's the name, it's the hype. The media did this really to him more than anything.
Yeah.
And also him being part of the family that he's a part of. But he laid a stinker on Saturday, and it wasn't all on him. But I honestly think a big chunk of it was on him. He missed a lot of throws. His mechanics seemed off. There was something off with him, and they lost. Number 1 goes down. It was a close game. Both defenses looked legit.
Yeah, they fought back. They had a chance there at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I to your point, the media obviously plays a factor into the whole Archie hype and his last name as well. Which that's not on him.
Yeah, it's not his fault. It's really not his fault.
Born into the Manning name, obviously, always a lot is going to come with it, and he has had a lot of hype around him since he was in high school, right? And probably even younger than that. But obviously, when you're a guy like Archie, you're playing in that big stage against Ohio State. All eyes are on you. Yeah, all eyes are on you, and it's a tough ask for anybody. It doesn't matter if you're Archie Manning, you're quarterback for wherever, right?
Yeah.
It's his 4th official start, first road game start, and first start against a ranked opponent. So obviously there was a lot there. You want to see a lot more out of Archie. The playbook early on also seemed like Sarkisian didn't trust him.
He didn't trust him.
And he had. I think the first throw of the game was a testament as to how Archie was going to play the rest of the game, because they called a great play call on the first offensive play. He has a nice little bootleg, gets out of the pocket using his legs, and he's got a guy, and he misses him. And that was
a lot of guys.
That was kind of the story all day for Archie. He missed a lot of throws. Some of the timing with the receivers also seemed off, which I think that pick that he threw in the third. I think it was in the third quarter. I think that the route could have been significantly better from the receiver. So there's always a little bit of things here and there that could help a guy like Archie in those moments. I don't think it's a take that Archie stinks. I don't think I'm not bought into that. It's week 1, and usually I'm an overreaction guy. I don't think across everything that happened in college football, there's anything that justifies an overreaction. Yeah, and I think there's still so much.
I have one, but
you have one.
I think it's justified.
What?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We will get to that game later.
Okay.
Because it's with your boys. So the overreaction isn't with your guys.
It's with
with
the other guy.
team.
I figured that's who it was. And I would say if anything that happened this week, that would probably be the
Yeah.
overreaction. And we'll get into that FSU Bama game. But, kind of talking on Archie a little bit more, I think there's still a lot of good that you can pull out of that game.
I mean, that one pass that he threw
Yeah.
was
No,
that one dart at the
ridiculous.
end, that last second, either last drive, second last drive was great.
Yeah, he showed flashes, right? And
Yeah.
you use that as momentum to build forward. And I think that Texas team overall just didn't really look the part. Ohio State looked hungrier. They looked like they wanted it more. Ryan Day looked like they had those guys way more ready to play.
Did you see his nipple ring
Yeah,
thing?
a lot of question marks there. But hey, man, maybe that's what they need to turn the corner again this year. But I don't think it's the Archie train is like over. I think he's still got a lot of good football to play. And at the end of the day, like he can play another year if he needs to.
If he wants to, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. Another big game this week was also LSU Clemson.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Wasn't the most exciting game on
Very
paper, but it was a very competitive
defensive game, yeah.
Very, very, very competitive game.
Terrible pick. I handed out the over. Terrible pick. One of the worst overplays of all time. I also had Texas. So as we go through these games, my picks. But the biggest standout for this game for me, I think LSU's legit. I think LSU is going to be very dangerous in the SEC.
Finally snapped not being able to win week one, too.
Yes. And then also just an all-time uniform matchup. The LSU unis and the Clemson unis, it was beautiful to watch. But the LSU team, I think that they're very legit. Like, that's a very legit team. So,
yeah, no, I agree. To go and win in Clemson with, obviously Clemson's defense was kind of like the highlight going into that game. Both quarterbacks also, very hyped up going into the season as well.
Yeah, but once the Texas game ended, both those quarterbacks immediately became the Heisman favorite.
Absolutely.
Like, literally, like the odds changed.
I believe it.
And both of them were tied for the Heisman favorite.
I believe it. And now, obviously, LSU's got that win under their belt, so that goes in favor of them. But it was interesting, right? Because, like, you saw, like, Bama go down and was like, the ACC going to run?
Yeah.
Like almost like shift the narrative week one and be like, oh, shit, is the ACC back? But Clemson obviously lost. And, to lose a home game week one is tough because it'll be an uphill battle for them the rest of the season. Obviously, they still have plenty of games to go win.
Yeah,
and they can control their own destiny, obviously, to get in.
And their schedule, and hypothetically, all they have to do is win the ACC.
Right.
And the ACC does look already, just week one.
Week one, it looks significantly better.
It looks significantly better than last year. I mean, FSU looks good. Miami looks good. SMU, I mean, they're obviously still ranked.
Yeah, but they handle their business. I mean, even Virginia against South Carolina, I mean, they were in that game. It was 10-8 pretty much the majority of the game. Then they had that punt. South Carolina had that punt return that kind of shifted the momentum in that game. But Virginia Tech held its own in that game.
Yeah. So the thing with Clemson, I would still probably have them as the ACC favorites. Yeah. With Miami, and we'll get to Miami after, probably right behind them. Like, they're very. I think the Clemson defense still looked very they still held
They only
LSU
gave them
17 points. It's what Cade Klubnik can do, right? I saw a stat like against him versus ranked opponents, he's terrible. Yeah. Like, his stats are like legitimately so bad compared to the rest of his catalog against like non-ranked opponents.
Right.
But let's see what they do. That defense is legit. Now, if they can figure out the offense, they should be okay. But the ACC does look better. So, at least this was a non-conference game. All they have to do is win their conference. But let's see if they can turn it around.
Absolutely. And then now you got the other ACC team in Florida State. Big win this weekend, obviously against number 9 team in the country in Alabama, or number 8 team in the country.
Don't sell your boy short.
Yeah, number 8 team in the country, Alabama. And I mean, the highlight of that game obviously was Tommy. Like Tommy,
the Cuban Missile crisis, baby.
Bro. Yeah,
I love it.
He was electric. I mean, he did everything with his legs. His arm looked good. I mean, big explosive plays across the board with the offense. I mean, FSU didn't score more than 24 points all season last year. Yeah. And there were some stinker teams that they played last year, and they couldn't even score 24 points. So to come out and beat Bama at home, like, set the tone. Crowd was electric. I knew if they can keep it close, the crowd obviously becomes a huge factor in Dillon. So the fact that they did, they answered right away. Bama scored first drive of the game. Then FSU comes and bounces right back, ties the game early. And once they started dialing up that pressure on defense, that defense was clicking. So to see what FSU was able to do week one, it changes the dynamic of like what the expectations of the season are now for them.
100%. That was the most shocking game of the weekend by far. I thought Bama. I had Bama as like one of my favorites to win this year. Like I had Bama. I thought Bama was going to bounce back from last year, and I thought Bama was going to maybe not steamroll, but I thought they were going to cover the spread at least. Yeah. And no, Tommy backed his stock up and he looked incredible. I mean, he's jumped up. Talking about Heisman odds, like he's jumped up big time. That team, like FSU looks like they look like they did 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that team that they had 2 years ago, led by what's his name?
Travis,
right? You add that dynamic quarterback element, your team, can see that drastic improvement.
Yes.
And so it looks like they are going to be a very dangerous team in the ACC, and they're going to be a hard out for anybody.
Yeah.
So it was a that was the most impressive win. And I don't want to take anything away from that one because I still think it was more impressive on the FSU side. But Bama legitimately, like I talk about overreaction. They look terrible. And it could be a testament to how obviously it's a testament to how good FSU played.
Yeah.
But also like Ty Simpson, oh boy, like he did not look good. Like he looked legitimately bad. Like
he looked good on that first drive. You saw him run for a couple first downs on that drive, but once FSU started dialing up pressure,
he couldn't do anything.
He could not do anything.
Couldn't do anything.
And I think that that could be the recipe for beating Bama is like dial up that pressure and
blitz them
and make them so uncomfortable. Which honestly, you would think a lot of these defenses should be doing that when you're playing these guys that are true freshmen, redshirt freshmen, getting their first start. It's like you got to make these guys uncomfortable.
The thing with him though, what's different with him is that this was his first start, but he's been there for like 4 years, like 3-4 years.
Yeah,
he sat. And it looks like for a good reason,
Right.
But let's see, maybe it's just a bad yips type game. But to me, he did not look good, and Bama in general just did not look good.
Yeah.
But also FSU did look good. I don't want to take anything away from them
for sure
because they really did look very good and much improved. And Tommy looked legit. And Tommy was balling out there. Like he was doing everything.
Everything.
It was great to see.
No, he like you said, he brings a completely different dynamic to that Florida State offense. Completely night and day from last year to this year with this team. So it's like, how do they obviously ride that momentum now, beating Bama? Because then now you essentially control your own destiny.
100%.
You got to play UF at the end of the year. Obviously, you got Miami in a couple weeks. You have a
huge game.
Couple stretch of games here in between now and Miami that are relatively winnable games.
100%.
There's no reason why they lose those. So they're talking 2 undefeated teams maybe going into Doak when Miami heads over there.
There's a world where that is probably going to be the college game day.
100%.
If neither one of them slips up, and which they shouldn't based on their schedules, right?
If Miami's got Florida the week before.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
that's going to be Miami's big game. But Florida State shouldn't.
Yeah.
Shouldn't some? Florida State should be undefeated, and Miami can be undefeated up to that point. They will do college game day there. Oh yeah, for sure. So
yeah, I mean
that's what I'm thinking.
The FSU rivalry could be back stronger than ever, which would be an interesting podcast over here.
Yeah, Booch versus Dre.
It'll be an interesting podcast over here. But great win for FSU. And then before we kind of get into the UM talk with our guy over here, let's talk the boys over there at Pitbull Stadium.
Oh yeah. It was an absolutely dominating performance. Covered the 30.5 points for my lock of the week. 30.5. I couldn't believe it. I honestly took it because I was like when's probably the next time we're gonna get a 30 points spread. Right. And honestly, after seeing that team, we're gonna get them every week. All right.
Bethune plays Miami this week, so now we have a little bit of FIU UM shit talking because if UM can't beat Bethune by that much, then clearly then we know who the better team is.
Yeah, I'm gonna come after you if you guys don't beat them by 31 or more points. All right. No, but in all seriousness, it's a great kickoff for the Willie Simmons era.
Yes,
it's when you're talking about you're playing a Bethune-Cookman, right? It's not like crazy team, but the last couple of years, we've lost to FCS teams. We haven't gotten the job done when we were supposed to.
We don't win dominant like that. How many times have we sweated in those games?
Yeah, exactly. So to come out first game of an hour and a half rain delay, and boom, just kicked the shit out of Bethune-Cookman, 42-9. Didn't allow any touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns. Like it was, and our starters didn't even have to play the fourth quarter. Like that's exactly what I needed to see, what we needed to do, and we did it. Like so, for me, like that's all I wanted it, and it's very has me very excited for the season. Obviously, we have a massive game this weekend. We are playing the number 2 team, possibly. They're not going to be number 1, but I hope they are number 1 when they
could
play
be.
them.
They absolutely could be.
I think they're going to put Ohio State
goes
ahead of
over
them.
them?
Yeah, I think they're going to go Ohio State, them. They might put LSU at 3, and they might put Miami 4 or 5. It depends how far they drop Texas. But there's a chance that they're the number 1 seed when we play them, and that would just be incredible. But in terms of just the season look after this game, I'm very excited because nobody in Conference USA, not that they don't scare me, but like I think this team is as good as any of them.
Yeah.
And the conference is wide open. So, if this team, they look bought in, like what Gator was telling us, like
absolutely,
if they are all bought in, like this team can do something special this year. And so we'll see. And then Penn State, if we beat Penn State, I mean, I'm telling you right now, if we beat Penn State, I don't even
add the double decker to Pitbull Stadium already.
Yeah.
Like just start getting the wheels in motion.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, all good things on my end. It was great to see Keon look great. The defense looked great. So, again, I want to see obviously how they hold up this week.
I can't believe I'm even like thinking this.
Oh, heavy.
I'm about to tear up just thinking about it. It's so hard for me to even say.
I'll say it.
If FIU beats Penn State,
when
FIU beats Penn State, college football playoff becomes a fucking conversation.
No, legitimately. Like legitimately. And the thing is, first off, in my season prediction, we are running the table 12-0. We are going to make the college football playoffs. We're going to play Penn State again, beat them again in the college football playoffs. Then we're going to play Miami in the Orange Bowl. Beat them there. Then we're going to go to play the national championship. I don't know. We might have a bye week. Who knows? We're going to play the national championship, and we're just going to win. Like, it's like I've already seen it. I've seen the vision. I've seen the movie. Like, it's there for the taking. No, but seriously, like, if we beat Penn State, like,
it actually becomes like a thought.
No, if we beat Penn State,
sure.
if we beat Penn State, then you literally have to run the table, and we're in.
Yeah.
and also, there's a world that even if we like just lose a close game to Penn State, like Boise did to Oregon last year,
right?
And then we run the table, we can still make
the like
we probably will be in the playoffs
for the it depends.
G5 school. Yeah, the G5 representative. Yeah. It's depends on
Boise
what
already lost.
Boise already lost. My dark horse G5 team outside of FIU is UTSA, which was my other pick that did hit in my locks. They covered against Texas A&M. They lost by I think maybe 14, 2 scores. They look very good, so there'll be somebody I think that could be there. No, they're in the American. Okay. So, but Tulane looked good too. So,
yes, Tulane did look really good.
It'll be close, but hypothetically, if we are 11-1 and our one loss against number 2 in the nation,
right.
And let's just say it was like a close game or somewhat, even like a 2-score game. Honestly, it's like that would be great. We're 42-point underdogs. Like we're talking playoffs. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here, all right?
Hopefully we're celebrating in here next week, recording the pod. But would be electric. But I think there's one more game we got to touch on, so we'll bring in our representative.
We're gonna end it here. Before Pooch can take my spot.
I want you guys to have. I had him on the. With me last time.
I have real thoughts on this.
You guys can have some friendly banter between the two of you. So.
I have legit thoughts on this game. So
what's going on, boys?
Hello, Poochie.
Beautiful Monday. It's a beautiful Monday for the
Poochie.
Oh man, what a beautiful day!
Look at you, decked head to toe. I love it,
man. I had to, bro. What a game!
I love it. No, it was a great game. It was probably the best game of the weekend in terms of
arguably for sure
the big games. That was the best game itself. I do want to get your thoughts on it. I will give you my honest thoughts on the game.
Hit me
first. I thought two things. The two things that really stood out to me the most. I think the defense looks vastly improved from last year.
100%.
And then 2, the trenches. I know the trenches are what Cristobal specializes in. It's what they focus on. They look even bigger this year. Like the O-line honestly impressed me even more than it did last year. And the O-line was good last year.
Yeah.
And then the D-line was applying pressure, especially at the end of the game. So I thought Miami looks very good. I I think it's like before the season, before week 1, I thought Clemson was here and like Miami was here. I think it's like closer, like it's closer to neck and neck. They did look very good. It's a huge win. I mean, you're playing the number 6 team in the nation who was just in the national championship last year and beat them. I do think you guys should absolutely own Notre Dame. Like Notre Dame, like should stop playing you because you guys own them.
At home, at least.
At home. and so yeah. So I great win. They look very good. And I have really nothing negative to say. The only negative I can say is they almost blew it at the end, but you ended up winning, so it doesn't matter. So you know what I mean? Like, yes, there were some conservative calls. I didn't agree with the kind of running it at the end when you're in a deep field goal position, but it ended up working out. So it's not too much I can complain about.
Yeah, look.
Except we're gonna beat the shit out of you if we play in the playoffs.
Look, I'm a football guy, and I'm going to love good football to the day I die, and that was good football. We went in there, kudos to Notre Dame. They made it interesting there at the end. I thought we were going to run away with it, but they didn't back down. A very good team. I know we beat them, but Notre Dame's a very good team. But besides that, I do got to talk a little bit of trash because, Notre Dame came in here with the best running back in the country. We held him to 33 yards on the ground. Mm-hmm. I think he only had maybe about 60, yards in total.
Yeah, because he had some catches.
Had a couple catches. Their defense was supposed to be the best defense in the country. I thought there were points there where they couldn't stop us. Obviously, they made a couple stops here and there. I mean, they have to. They're very, very good defense.
It is a good defense. I think it's more of a testament to like the couple of your receivers. What's this guy, number 10, the freshman?
Malachi Tony.
Malachi. That guy looked.
Yeah,
it's a great compliment. And of course, being compared to FIU guys. Reggie Wayne tweeted during the game. He was watching the game. He's like number 10 reminds me of young T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, that's awesome. But no, I mean, look, Malachi Tony blew it out of the park. I mean, these guys secondary was supposed to be very, very good, and I thought we were making plays after play, through the air. Shout out to Carson Beck. Didn't blow up the stat sheet. I think he went 20 for 30, 205, and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. But the big thing, no turnovers.
Yeah.
We made very little mistakes. On the offensive side, we played a pretty clean game outside a couple holdings here and there, a couple questionable holdings at most, but a good game. The boys up front got pushed, and I said it. We had to get pushed. We had to establish a run game. Our big boys up front, Mark Fletcher, ran through people. We ran for critical first downs. There was one drive, I think our last scoring drive was just straight running the whole way through. Then, man, Carson Beck, dude, trying to, regain some confidence after, a tough season over at Georgia, comes to Miami and, played really well, man. Made some good throws. I mean, that touchdown throw to Malachi Tony kind of, off his back foot, layers it perfectly. And then, the second touchdown pass, I mean, just, arguably a catch of the year candidate already 100%. By CJ Daniels, one-handed. If he doesn't put a hand on that, it's probably an interception.
Yeah.
But overall, man, the Rock was rocking. It was a great game from the Canes.
It looked packed.
It was the biggest sellout game, the biggest crowd in UM history over there at Hard Rock. So, I mean, the fans showed up, the team showed up, man, and dude, it was just a statement win for us. And I think we did, and I haven't even touched on the defense, man. The defense was astounding.
Defense looked great.
I will say, a couple of miscues, a couple of blown coverages, especially there at the end where the tight end was wide open by himself. Yeah. Luckily, we were able to, hawk him down, and it eventually helped us at the end. I was able to take a couple more minutes off the clock, for them to go in and drive it in the end zone. But, when we needed the most at the last drive, I mean, those guys were humming. They couldn't get the ball out. We had CJ Carr. I think it was 2 sacks, the intentional grounding to cap off the game. But, shout out to Corey Heatherman and those boys putting in work over the offseason. A lot of people had questions on his defense, but I think we answered the call. The secondary looks great. The D-line looked great. We kept that run game in check outside of a couple big plays. They really couldn't, run all over us. And overall, man, just a good game from the Canes. And, shout out Notre Dame for, keeping it competitive and keeping it interesting there until the end.
Keeping it competitive.
Yeah, keeping it competitive, man. I mean, look, like I said, I love good football, man, and that was a good football game. So, you got to tip your hats to both teams for, playing hard, playing tough. And, I'm glad my Canes were able to pull it out there at the end.
So now because you win week 1, big win. Similar to last year, obviously, you go to Gainesville, you have a big win. What are now your expectations? Have they changed from before the season? Have they changed?
I mean, my expectations always we got to win the ACC championship. Yeah. That's always first and foremost. Now, do I think we have playoff hopes? 100%, because you mentioned before. I think with the shakeup in the rankings and some people dropping, I mean, Miami could be a top 5 team. come Tuesday.
They could be. I think they'll probably be 5.
I think they'll be
5 or
5.
6 because think about it. The Texas is not going to drop past 5 because they lost to number 3 by a touchdown, and Clemson's probably not going to drop that much either because they lost to 9. You know what I mean? So I think Miami will jump from 10 to I think they're going to give them. I think they might just swap Notre Dame and Miami. They might put Miami at 6 or something.
Because LSU was in front of us. They're 9.
Yeah.
They beat number 4. So logic says they jump up. Obviously, it's very dependent on how much they drop Texas. Because I mean, it was a close game, but I mean, Texas didn't look like a number 1 team in the country.
Yeah.
And in Miami, I mean, in the top 10, we probably played the best defense in the top 10. Probably, arguably, if you can put them next to maybe Penn State's defense. But
no, I'd say. I mean, still the Texas Ohio State defenses played lights out.
Yes.
And same with Clemson.
Yeah.
But it was. I think more so. I think Miami will jump. They'll jump Clemson for sure. They'll obviously jump Notre Dame. I don't even know who else is in the because Penn State's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Who else? Oh, they're gonna jump Bama. So
exactly.
They should jump at least 4 teams minimum. So
but I mean, rankings aside, man, I want this team to keep improving. Obviously we had a couple miscues there on defense. Clean those up. Make sure we're focused. I said it in my preview. It's the first game. There might be a couple hiccups here and there.
Yeah.
There were hiccups. Obviously, a couple blown coverages. Obviously, CJ Carr on the rollout, kind of running around. If the quarterback's struggling, you gotta put him under duress when he's running around. You can't let him run around and find a guy wide open there in the end zone. You gotta get to the quarterback, make the plays. You can't have a guy wide open 30 yards down the field. If that was a receiver, he was gone. Luckily, it was a tight end.
Yeah.
Our DB was able to catch up to him, but luckily it didn't hurt us today. But as you get deeper into the season, when you play the Floridas, when you play the FSUs, mistakes like that can cost you a game. But I mean, uncharted territory for the Canes. Are playing from ahead the whole game. So I mean, coming to the conservative side, I think some people thought Cristobal missed a chance to just close out the game.
Yeah.
You score one more touchdown, and I mean, the game's over.
But it's not even a touchdown.
Part.
I thought it was just going for a closer field goal. You were just settling. I mean, he drilled it, by the way, and he would have been safe from 55. So I guess he just probably knew that. But it's settling a college kicker for 48 yards and just being okay with that is crazy to me.
But I mean, look, I know people say conservative, but the most important thing is we made Notre Dame use all their timeouts.
Yeah.
So Notre Dame had a minute. We drew out some clock. Maybe a little conservative, but you're playing from ahead. I love that we didn't have to, rely on a shootout. Like we said, we don't have Cam Ward. We don't have that guy that's going to go out and throw for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. But Carson Beck played a hell of a game, kept us in the game, very little mistakes. Reused his legs to get us a couple first downs, get a couple yards. So I think now, man, it's just keep on putting the pressure. Learn to don't slip up in these games, in these need to win games.
It's only week 1.
It's only week 1, but I do think that this team showed a lot of promise. I think this team showed that they're ready to compete, that we can run the table. And now, man, it's in their hands. You set the bar high. You beat number 6, so
no, definitely it was a huge win. It's a good win. It's a huge.
In
win.
reality, this as of week 1. This is the best team, arguably, on the schedule.
Oh yeah. I thought you're.
Not the best team in the country.
But
on our schedule,
because I think you're gonna say the Miami team is the best.
No. I'm saying this is probably one of the best teams you're gonna play. Probably the best defense.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the hardest games that Miami has left are gonna be Florida State, 2 rivals that obviously Florida. I mean, Florida's got a crazy. We haven't even touched on Florida, but Florida destroyed LIU. They have a crazy schedule. I think it lines up nice for Miami in the sense that Florida's going to have to go to LSU.
I think they play LSU right before us.
They go to LSU the week before Miami. Then after Miami, they go to Texas.
Yeah.
And somebody else is in the
I mean, obviously, they played Long Island. Those poor guys, they only have like 40 guys on the roster. So they I know.
We're not touching bad on Long Island.
We're not touching bad on Long Island, but they went to the Swamp week 1. Florida put a beating, but I think now they play a good team now this week. Correct?
Well, they play USF, and then you guys play USF right after.
They play USF. So, hey, man, USF. Not bad.
Hey, USF.
They're gritty,
they
dude.
showed out, man. They showed out. They showed out week 1. So.
But now, next week we play Bethune-Cookman. Obviously, we should put some business in. We're going to cover the spread.
If you don't beat them by over 31 points, Poochie.
We're going to cover the spread. We're going to cover the spread. We go to USF at home. We play. We stay at home now for a couple of weeks. So, I mean, let's just take care of business. Let's stay healthy. Let's keep on improving. Keep on working that defense. The first time we see a lot of these faces playing together. But I mean, shout out the Canes, man. Shout out Mario Cristobal. Probably one of his biggest wins since coming to Miami. And now,
Probably
man,
is his
it's
biggest one.
probably is his biggest win. And man, just get ready. 3 weeks you play Florida, then you play FSU. Over there at Doak, man. So keep on gelling this team together. Let's keep on improving. And man, let's keep on humming, dude. I'm super excited for this season, dude.
Stop saying we and looking at me. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Thank you, Pooch.
Absolutely.
Poochie.
Come back in, Dre.
We'll just close it out.
Go Canes, baby.
You know how like in like Charlie Brown, when the parents are talking here, that's what I heard when you guys were talking.
You should have audioed Pooch.
Oh. Dre, now it's on camera. What are your takes on the game?
I thought UM played a great game.
Yeah, they played great.
I didn't think they really made too many mistakes, and I think that was really the difference in that game. I mean,
Yeah.
it almost felt like they were going to blow it again, which would have been like typical UM fashion. They had a chance to really lose that game when they looked like they were just going to run away with it.
Should have been way more too.
The difference in the game really was the catch right before half, the one-handed fucking grab. That was insane catch. If he doesn't make that play,
Yeah.
That's 7 that they don't get right before the half, and ultimately could have been the difference in that game. So reality is UM just made that many more plays than Notre Dame did. And I think Notre Dame found something there in the second half that almost was enough for them to pull it off. I thought UM played a better game than Notre Dame and was the better team yesterday on Sunday. I still don't think that they have everything figured out there at UM. Their front 7 is really good, and their O-line is really good. But Carson Beck looked the part for the most part, but he also had some help on his side. And I think there's still a lot to figure out with that UM team. But I think they were the better team on Sunday.
Yeah, no, they look good. I'm with you. I mean, I think they look very good. So let's see. As long
season, my friend.
Long season for everybody, man.
It's a long season for everybody.
Everybody. We're just getting started. That's the best part. We are just week 1. This is just week 1. That's the best part.
It's a long season when you can win week 1, the big games.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a great
Huge
way to
boost.
kind of kick off the season and just like build momentum. But look at Notre Dame last year. They lost to an FCS school.
No, it was FBS, but it was a MAC team. It was Northern Illinois.
Yeah, Northern Illinois, right? And you saw the way the rest of that season went for them, right?
Yeah.
Like these things happen, and it can't be like the end all be all for a team.
No.
So
especially when you're playing like week 1, especially when you're playing a big top 10 opponent. So it's not going to affect the people. Which is crazy. The higher ranked team, or the lower ranked team ended up beating the higher ranked team in all 3 games. So it won't drop them too much, but you just got to bounce back from it. Keep it going, keep it rolling.
It's a long season, and when you can win early, it's a great, like you said, momentum builder. But anything is still on the table for everybody. So we shall see what happens going into week 2. And we'll also be watching the Finns later this weekend as well, which will be exciting.
NFL is back, baby.
So, if you've made it this far, tune in on Thursday. We got Mr. Josh Moser on the pod from WSVN. We get into all things Finns. Great episode, great preview into the season. And we're just hyped that the Finns play this weekend.
Hell yeah.
And,
hyped that football's back.
Football.
Like fully back, baby.
Big FIU game. I can't wait for that.
God.
I can't wait. You're going to be there.
Stay tuned. I will be in State College, boots on the ground.
Yeah.
A lot of content coming your way. So
absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.